Oh no, I'm sorry.
Did you make a penis reference?
She did.
She did.
She did.
The slip sound is too little. Oh.
Oh.
You ain't got a dick, you got a penis. I'm
Can
sorry.
people comment? Can we see?
If we do this, we can. He can. Well, we can if we do this.
on Facebook to fucking catch up.
Because last time I
God, he didn't pay the
commented,
bill
I don't
again.
know if anyone saw.
I checked it. They can hear
So
it.
did you go live and then ungo live?
Yeah, I did. I forgot to change the time.
What is it? What's that
Oops.
when you ungo live? What do you do?
I just end the
You
stream.
ungo.
Redo it.
Right, end that shit like. Psh.
yeah. I'm waiting on. Dude, it's not sending.
I'm trying to keep
Shit.
up. It's too much.
Unable to connect. Why can't you connect?
Allison, fix this.
All right, hold on, I got it.
Yeah, what if we stream it?
No, I got
Yeah,
it.
do
I'll
it.
just redo it, dude. Don't worry about it. Home of beer. Server,
have a problem with
copy.
it. It's the almost legal podcast. We are not on like
So
TV.
7 dirty words. I just can't do that. All right.
Choose 6.
All right. That's easy. Okay.
Well, choose 5.
Cuss words?
Yeah, I mean, like out of the 7 dirty words you can't say on TV, we can here we accept like 5.
You can't say see you next Tuesday. I don't think that's sufficient.
Right. See you next Tuesday is unacceptable.
Yeah, that's not. There's a lot of Caucasian
Way too
females
simple.
out there.
Right. They get
They will
offended.
get offended. They'll start a riot. It's like, oh my
Facebook
gosh.
jail again?
A riot
Right.
started in Hoover.
Yeah, our goal is
Starbucks.
right.
The CUNT word was heard, and these bitches went wild.
Oh no!
I mean, I'm sorry.
Ryan
See you next
commented.
Tuesday. I'm sorry.
T word. They're
I
not.
didn't mean to spell it like verbatim. I meant to say.
You know what?
See you next Tuesday.
There's no I in team, but there is a U in.
Yes, it is.
How about that?
one
She's actually right about that.
She is.
of my favorite sayings.
Hunt.
Thank you, Kenny Powers.
They're not going. It's not connected to Facebook. Oh, hold on. We're Gucci.
Oh my gosh, he had to push the little button that says connect.
No, it's just
Aw.
it took forever.
Well, folks, here we are once again, almost live, almost late.
Are we on Facebook?
Oh, where's my descriptor that we almost live, almost.
What the hell's a
I
descriptor?
had it perfect last time.
Hey, you let her be. Well, look at that. We're actually live.
Let her be
Oh,
what?
look. Let me be weird.
Turn that shit
Volume
down. Who the hell are you?
There's feedback.
Goddamn it.
Be professional.
We're live people.
Hey, look, everybody that's here is joined.
Welcome to the show.
This is a
viewers are the people in the room.
right. This
That's
is
a mirror
the
right
big
there.
show tonight.
It's a house of mirrors.
Feedback.
4,
We got 5 people listening.
3.
Can I get too close? It sounds distorted if I get too close to it.
No, you're fine.
Don't
Pocket
scream it. Okay,
Get up in
judge
it.
it by your
Get all-
volume. The
get all
louder
up
you
in it.
are, the kind of farther you go.
Get up in it.
Talking distance
Get
is
up
where I
in
told you to
Right, I
be.
was gonna say.
You've never been on the radio before.
Get on up in it.
Get
Kind
up
of-
in it.
Get
Get up.
on up in it.
Oh,
Just tear it up.
Yeah.
all right, 5, 4,
Okay.
3,
He said,
2, 1.
yeah.
God help us.
Hey, it's me. We're live. This is episode number 105.
105.
105, and coincidentally will probably be the last episode in this lovely studio here in Chelsea, Alabama. I'm joined today with Chris, Carrie, Ashley, Jose,
Yep.
and Allison.
There she is.
There she is.
Something
Mic
else.
dropping it.
Hey.
It's like,
Ooh,
boom.
that's what I said.
Yeah,
What?
Allison borderline has AIDS or something. I don't know what.
But her B12 is good.
Her B12's low.
B12 is great.
Everybody's
B12 is
going
good.
on. It's like whatever amount.
This might be a shit show of an episode, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a lot of people
Probably is.
talking. But we
How-
can do this.
However, okay.
If you're sensitive to things, you should go ahead and just not watch.
No doubt. No
Are
doubt.
sensitive because sensitivity is our
Or
middle
listen.
name.
This is an
Unacceptable around here.
NC-19 rated show today.
It is.
That means you gotta be over
Plus.
9. You can't even be 17. You gotta be 19.
Yeah.
Because ish about to get real. I'm
It
serious.
is
Acting real
about
rude,
No
like
doubt.
Nelly.
get
It's
no.
No doubt.
Shout out to whichever Ninja Turtles on my shirt.
You can't.
This is a colorblind Ninja Turtle shirt. So like, whichever one you want it to be, that's what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's awesome.
What
It's
she said.
amazing.
Looks like a green one.
Picture his
green- it's the
bandana,
green
whatever
turtle.
color you want.
Ashley said it's a green turtle. Ladies and gentlemen, he is correct.
He is.
Is there a green Ninja Turtle?
No, but
seen
their
them on
skin
TV.
is
Aren't they
green.
all green?
They are all green.
No,
Tell me.
the Gucci bandana.
No, man, he ain't got the Gucci.
It's the bandana
It's-
action,
it's
right?
blue.
All right. So why is everyone creaming their panties over this draft lottery? Like what was so big about that?
I'll tell you what's big about it. I'll go ahead and break this down for you real quick. A little brief history.
Do it.
First off, the Pelicans got the first round pick for the 2019 draft, which is huge because Zion Williamson is pretty much going to be the first round pick. And whichever team he's going to be on, he's going to change their destiny. Am I doing this right? In my hands?
What are you, Ricky Bobby? What do I do with my hands?
Anyway, I'm baked and I'm on report right now, so I'm trying to be professional and shit. And I'm flexing too at the same time. Hey,
Dude, did y'all see that Russian guy who has the biggest arms in Russia?
No.
Because he injected himself with 6 ounces of oil.
I've seen that guy.
Like,
No, that's the
motor
guy
oil?
who had an infection. No,
Oh,
that was the different guy.
That came from a bitch.
different guy.
The different guy.
That came from a vagina.
She's talking about the guy, the Irish guy who had a massive infection from injecting his own semen into his arm
right,
90
right.
times. No, this guy.
I'm sorry.
So his arms are pregnant?
Yeah,
You know what
you're.
I'm saying? His arms are pregnant? So he got babies in his arms are babies, so you can't do nothing to him.
Yeah, no, he's got 6 ounces of oil in his arms. I don't know what that does, but
Like motor oil?
I don't know.
Oil?
They're like this big around. They're like the
Baby
size of
oil
a.
or motor oil, olive oil?
Like synthol
Is it
6?
Popeye?
I think it was.
One of
I
my
was gonna say, I
testicles.
think it's synthetic.
It's got to be something.
It's gotta be, right?
He
That's,
injected olive oil into it.
I mean, I ain't the smartest person in
Well,
science
it's olive
and
oil,
shit, but that shit sounds like it's a hurt. I'm sure he's in pain. How does he sleep?
Sounds painful.
You can't roll over on that
Right.
motherfucker, like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you
Like,
can.
can't be like, oh, oh.
Well, there's days Ashley can barely put his arms down.
Ash, you are pretty swole, bro.
Arms and
Ash touched my shoulders 4 times. He didn't even know it.
Right.
Look, I just got time.
He's
I was like, all right, bro. All right, cool. You want over here? You got it. You got it. You got
He's
it.
a nice guy, though.
No doubt.
Super nice.
No, but okay, why was that such a. Like, what was their odds? Like, what was,
Their odds were 6%. They had 6% chance. Everybody was looking at the Knicks, the Cavaliers, and the freaking the Suns to be like in contention to get him. And also you got Anthony Davis, who publicly talked shit about the team, but still has 1 year left.
Right.
He wore that's all, folks. in his last
Right.
game.
But I mean, like now he's got a reason to stay because it's like, dude, like the two of y'all, and then you throw in this little factor right here. If he would have went to New York, everybody was thinking that Kevin Durant would go to New York in his offseason.
Right.
He might possibly go to freaking New Orleans. Now you get the 3 of them on one team. That's
That's
guaranteed.
that's
Hey,
guaranteed.
I'll
final
rock
spot
some
right there.
Pellies, dude.
I mean,
Right?
look, I'm still a Bulls fan. The Bulls got it out
Right.
good too. Number 7. Shout out to lucky number 7. Bulls. We see y'all out there. Shout
Bulls ain't nothing
we come
happening with the
back.
Bulls.
Hey,
Nobody
not
cares.
yet. Not yet. We building, bro. We building, bro.
We're on a building
We
decade.
building, bro. You know, years ago, number 7, the Warriors got Steph Curry. Look what happened. Oh.
Look what happened.
Oh, that number 7 looking good right now. Ain't it? Oh.
Dreaming, man.
I might be, but I'm up.
You're dreaming.
I'm high. Woke.
All right, another thing on the docket here.
He's super woke up.
I'm baking woke. At the
He's so
same time.
awakened.
Another thing on the docket, which I don't understand. A lot of grief about this whole complete abortion ban, but I don't get what the deal is on like why it's a big deal that all of them were white
It's a huge
males.
How does that have anything to do
Like,
with it?
what's that have to do with anything?
I think all people
Right?
get pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Well-
no, but those are no,
Wait,
they're
you're saying
exclusive.
what white
Tara's
males? What's the
pregnant
big
right
deal?
They're
about-
making a big
why-
deal
why
about
is the white
That's
guys
true.
against again?
all the people that voted against the abortion thing, which y'all know my view on abortion.
Against it. Okay.
Against it were white males. I'm like, what's that have to do with literally anything?
It's the whole. So we're picking it apart again into the sense that, you know what? I'm a girl. Here's my problem. I've had a lot of people talk about this with me today. Surprisingly, I have an abortion clinic about 2 houses down from my office, so it's kind of it's been a subject. But you know what? This is when you realize that they won't even let somebody have an abortion that's let's say if your daddy raped you or your uncle or your brother, and I'm sorry, abuse victims don't typically go reporting their
Yeah.
abuser, within Plan B territory.
I mean, let's be
So,
honest. If it
For the
becomes
girls, it's just to me, this is again a political, like they're trying to use each other in a way to bully. Again, what we're seeing is your state's forming that rally of the conservative versus we're going to push things
Right.
into a right or wrong for other people.
Exactly.
But
Well, I mean,
this is just
you got to be
either
real,
way,
though.
it's touchy way. It's touchy subject.
There's definitely an issue sometimes. I mean, if it gets to the point where the kids are calling their mom and dad, uncle, dad, and that mom, something
Yeah,
probably
then we have problems. Yeah, it's
Oh, stepson.
right.
because essentially that's what this does. It takes away every possibility. Yeah,
That is true.
and I realize there's a lot of people out there that'll say that's the way it should be if it's God's intent, this, that, and the other. But
Yeah,
I've
but-
met a lot of girls that had to make some choices.
Here's my argument with the whole God's intent thing.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, well, not to 100% because there are some loony bins out there. I guarantee you, if their kid got diagnosed with some crazy disease, they wouldn't say it's God's will. We're gonna ride this out. If God will make him get better, he'll get better. Same diff.
Right.
Oh, so you're going to the doctor, right? But you take your moral shit out of there. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but don't you feel like,
There's people that do that.
Oh, I know, but the question to me-
kids legitimately die because they're the real loony bins that are like snake handlers and
Well,
all
it's
that.
like, no, it's like Scientology. I don't think they will take a blood transfusion. And there's actually people out there who go, well, we'll just pray about it and let them go. My thing is
Well, would you take a blood? Because all that's
My
mostly
gosh,
out
yeah.
Yeah,
west.
I get, but that was their choice.
Out west. Would you take a blood transfusion out west? That's freaking me out, man.
Hell no.
right? He's like, hell no.
I travel out west a lot, and I'm just amazed every time I go out there, the shit that I see. And I'm just like, man, I'm just a country boy from Alabama. Like, I ain't never seen this.
Right.
Like, I done been to a gay club, but I ain't never seen this. This ain't even in the club. Like, I talked two gay dudes getting to a straight, excuse my French, sissy fight on the sidewalk. And it was
Slapping it out.
hilarious.
Was it not the best
it was
17
straight
seconds of your life?
That
Oh,
is
it
the
was
best
25
thing I've
seconds,
ever
dog.
seen go down.
Straight up. And then they both ended up on the ground together, still slapping each other. I was like, oh my gosh. And it was just a circle of
It's
just,
cat fight.
yes, a circle of gay dudes around. I'm like, get him, Twan.
Get him.
You better stop. You better get off of Ramirez. Like, it was rough, man. It was hilarious. Like, I was
It could be like midget street fighting.
We
Somebody
apologize
gets
to- we-
subordinate and you got it.
Look, hey, real quick, shout out to
Hey, disclaimer
Shout out-
real quick. We
shout
need
out
to
to,
apologize to
the
anybody
gay
named
community.
Ramirez.
Shout out to the gay community. I love you guys.
Right?
Y'all
Come
are
see a
amazing.
show.
Y'all are amazing. Come
I
see me.
love it. No, I love my gay midgets.
Come
My
see.
God.
Hey, I'll be in Huntsville.
You said gay
Shout out
midgets?
to-
No one said anything about
I've got,
midgets.
I've
Never
got
mind.
like
No, she said
Little people.
midget street fighting is a new thing. It is.
I'm just gonna fade off. And
You say gay midgets?
I know. Yeah, no, I was saying like, they said like the midget street fighting,
Yeah,
they
gay
like
midget
or
street fighting
hopeless
is
street
a
fighting.
real thing.
I mean, they got the whole new genre with like gay street fighting.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
I seen
Like
the
the
gay,
game is coming out. The game is coming out on the PlayStation 5. Gay Street Fighter.
Gay Street Fighter.
Issue,
Right?
I mean,
the
this could be a
Rainbow
whole-
Edition. The Rainbow
The
Edition.
Rainbow
It's
Edition.
gonna be. It's gonna be
Right,
like
they fight different.
straight
I mean,
up,
they
like,
could
they-
fight in the streets of Vancouver.
they're gonna be
and
like doing
they
like
could have that as a setback, and then we can have
parkour. They're gonna do a
Key West.
parkour in
I'm visiting there
Paris.
this weekend. That'll be fun.
They gonna-
A lot of that.
And just know we're all LMNOP supporters.
Hey, QRS
I
TV.
absolutely am. You know what? You can't laugh at yourself.
Shit.
You just get over yourself.
All damn day, dog. QRS TV up in this piece. Hell yeah.
Another thing
And
that
we-
happened
we-
this week is a Kentucky Derby.
At
What
the
was that?
Derby.
When was that?
That was a couple weekends.
That
ago.
was the
Was that a
K-
couple weekends
that was the-
ago?
No, that was last weekend actually.
The
Yeah,
KDQ.
since we.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that shit was hilarious.
What happened?
Oh, the fucking horse touched
Well-
another horse and everybody flipped
Go
out.
ahead.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
People do that. When horses
Man.
are touching each other,
Look, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is
There's
this.
laws.
In
No,
No,
100
time out. Time out. Who's telling us? Do you know
It
what's
was the
going on?
Russians.
Jose, what's going on?
The horse veered over out of the lane into the other lane, which caused all the other
He
horses to
changed
shift
lanes.
when they were coming around the bend.
Uh-oh.
So they disqualified the horse because the horse that caused all that won initially. But
Blame that driver.
My thing is, man, they're fucking horses, man.
Thank
145
you.
years, these
Natural
horses ain't never done
instinct.
each other before. Y'all should be happy.
Let me ask a question.
Like,
You guys are at recess. You're running around the track. You dip out right in front of somebody. You still
Yeah.
win the race.
there you go.
right?
Yeah, you should have let me be in front of you.
Right.
You go,
Right.
You
Look,
get
I
out.
didn't even know they had lanes. The track is so muddy.
Shame.
Well,
I
how do
didn't
you
know-
tell?
I didn't
Right?
know they had lanes. I'm like, dude, what lane? And this
Hey,
chick
y'all,
at the
have y'all
bottom-
ever betted on horses?
I bet $5. My bad. I bet $5 on number 4. I don't
Did
even
it
know
win?
what- No, I didn't win, bro. Number
No, but I bet $5.
Number 7, yeah, no, number 4 was way.
Number 7 won?
I was like, you know,
You
they should-
lost money. They made you pay more.
When they get to 150, they should change the rules of like, all right, they're gonna run the race, and then like, you know what? Run that shit back. And then it's just fucking,
Right.
just go. Like it's gonna be 2 races in one day. It's gonna be the first time ever.
And
then,
the
like,
bottom 5.
Yes.
Oh, we don't lose it.
Then they're gonna be like, life is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon.
It's gonna be like the new Nike
Going
slogan.
so hard.
All them damn horses.
Buddy
man.
out here.
That's
No
crazy.
lane
So
changes.
what Colts coach was shot?
Oh, he wasn't shot. his whole house was shot up, like 8 cars pull up, Mother's Day,
Like Indianapolis Colts.
like ghetto, like mafia style, like they're in the Gump.
He must
I'm
be
just
from
kidding.
Gary. He
Like
must be
they're
from
like
Gary.
The Gump.
Hey, we gangsta the Gump.
The Gump.
like almost murder capital of
the
the world,
Ina-
like number 3 behind Birmingham.
like the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
Seriously, it's just in Indianapolis. They found 70 shell casings. I mean, he wasn't home. His family
Hey,
wasn't
no.
home. This is like country club, suburban. 70 shell casings in his heart. Like
The hell did he do?
Yeah, they said like 8
What
cars.
did you do?
8 cars pull up
8
to his
cars.
pad and start unloading. Somebody wanted
Unload.
somebody hurt.
Oh, that was some Kentucky Derby shit right there.
Dude, right?
Right.
That was,
Right.
that was Kentucky
Like,
Derby
and it-
shit.
and
You owe
it's
us
like a-
money, boy. Like,
You told me to go
That's the
whoever the
best
horse that touched somebody. What was that?
That or he actually won the bet.
I mean, because you think about this, like a lot of people threw their tickets away initially, thinking
I know,
that
right?
they lost.
Could you imagine that? It's like not finding your lottery
And then-
ticket.
Yeah, and then you come back because it took them 15 minutes to go over the video. I mean, the freaking race is like 12
Yeah, it was
seconds
like
long.
20
Right.
Yeah.
The
It
race
takes
is 12 seconds. It took 15 minutes. Everybody
22
stopped.
seconds.
We stopped watching it at the bar. I was at work. We stopped watching.
Wait, so
it.
people threw away their tickets?
Yeah, the
and
winner was
people
already
at
done.
the actual event would just throw away their tickets because, I lost. You know,
It was
like,
over.
They just throw
you know,
them right
just-
then. Yeah.
well, you know, it's worthless. You know how rich white people do.
No, I don't.
No, as a matter of fact, we don't.
Guys, we've all seen the movies now. We've all seen the movies.
I've seen Great Gatsby.
We've been to the
Is
Catalina wine mixer before.
Right.
You know how they act. We have seen the Catalina wine mixer. It's the same shit, guys. Big
fucking
hats,
Catalina
white
wine
pants.
mixer.
Big hats, white pants, baby. That's it. On the muddiest
You know,
day,
like-
you wear white pants on the muddiest day
Right.
because you don't give a shit. You gonna throw these pants away
Basic
after the
white
day.
girl.
Anyway. Damn the
Disposable.
dry
Done.
Throw it. Burn it.
One summer at band camp.
Hey, Bandcamp, dude.
I'm
That's
just saying.
one hell of a ride.
I slipped
Well,
my
I think
elbow
there might have been a
inside
white
of
girl
woman.
that shot up the Colts assistant coach's house because they found a silver iPhone with a purple case. I'm like, okay, there's some
Wait,
girl
what?
going, oh, guys, I'm so sorry.
Dude,
I
there's
really,
some.
I swear I thought I had it in my back pocket. And
So they
I mean,
found a
seriously, you're going to go
iPhone
shoot
in a
up
purple
somebody's house
case.
and leave your phone.
Somebody's phone fell out the pocket. Somebody's phone fell out their pocket while they were shooting up a damn house. What?
Right.
Wait,
Amateur drug
Right.
wait.
What
we-
amateur killer?
Wait, we
has
got to
a
go
phone
back.
on them. I hope it's a burner phone. I pray it's a burner phone. Or
Right.
Tiger
No,
Woods
it's
is
not
not
her
the
taking
dumbest.
taking a
Ain't no dumb
selfie.
person with a phone no more. I hope it's a burner phone. Like I swear, I hope it ain't subscribed to your house.
If
They got all
it
your IP address on there and everything. Just right there. Like, come on, dude. Like, you idiot. You gonna die.
that'd be pretty
'Cause
He's
funny.
out there taking selfies.
Look, you know why they say that, right? Why the color of the case? Because everybody know who got that case. They were like, man, you dropped your phone.
They're like,
Man, I ain't dropped my
Everybody
phone, man.
said, yeah, you're the only dude I know that's got a purple case.
Yeah, like, man, that ain't mine.
it wasn't mine. I
Oscar
swear.
got
Like,
one too.
Look at
Oscar
him.
got one too.
Hold
It's
on.
the thing in
Oh,
Indy.
yeah.
Purple's our color.
This
No,
is-
it's not. It's blue.
This is my phone.
Right.
I got my damn camera.
I want to know though, for real, like, is this like pissed off fans, like action?
No,
fan
it's
action?
bro.
Or
This
is this like
is like some
it's like
serious,
ghetto stuff? I mean, this is like
This is
gangster
money.
mafia.
Yeah,
like
this
you
money
got,
right here.
There's
It's real
money.
money.
There's
That's
money
straight gangster
involved.
shit. Ain't no,
like you got
Yeah.
involved with the wrong people.
Ain't no fans going into no damn country club neighborhood shooting up shit.
That's
Fuck
what I'm
that.
thinking.
They'll
I'm
catch your
kinda
ass at the
They
damn
might
grocery
kill
store.
some oak trees or something.
And what
Yeah.
time was this? This was in the daytime.
It was daytime too.
Yes, midday.
Shut up.
Midday, yeah.
Yeah.
Eight
Oh,
cars
Well,
rolling.
they know they're all at work.
Like,
So-
Right.
You know what? Look,
It's like, hold up, we're gonna mess this place
they
up.
gonna
but, like,
find out it was shooting a scene for Lethal Weapon 5.
Right.
Right?
It's like the
Maybe
coaches
that
in the movie,
was
we
it.
want
They
to tell y'all who
didn't
Riggs
have their
was.
extras
It's the
on set that
coach.
day.
We wanted it to look realistic.
I bet the cops got
Gee.
there real quick, man. It was in the country. I bet like I want to have like the lot security guy. You know they got a lot security guy.
Oh, pulls up in his
Pull
Ranger.
up, no, pull up the damn
Yeah,
golf
the guy at the
golf cart and
guardhouse.
shit.
Nobody
Hey,
really
y'all
knows
stop
he's
that.
there.
Hey, will you pick up that poop, please? Thank you.
Please curb your pets.
Is your dog?
And when you get done, grab that check that we're supposed to write for the settlement and take it to the courthourhouse because that was one of the headlines too. Smear some doo doo on the corner of the check,
Wait,
and then
what?
go pay that settlement that you lost.
Okay, explain that again.
Somebody had a shitty chick.
Apparently, this is one of the, again, you just can't make this stuff up. So you have a lawyer, that lost a case and is delivering a settlement check to the court, and he literally smeared feces on the corner of the check. Like that's
Okay, so that's beyond salty, right?
Hey,
that is like it's pretty shitty.
but look,
Literally.
Right.
But it's-
That's a
Literally.
shitty thing to do.
but this how you
Such a
figure that
shitty
out.
thing to do.
This how you figure that out though.
You smell your
it's not,
checks?
It's not even. It ain't even about.
I'm like,
It ain't even to the person that like has to cash the check because like they're getting rid of the check. It's to that damn bank teller.
Right.
They got to sit there with that shitty check on their desk like for the
Right?
whole day.
Can I get that?
What is that smell?
Karen, please. Karen, please. Ramona, not now. Okay, I'm busy.
$500,000
Excuse me.
plus fees.
Can I get that?
Why is there always a Karen?
Because Karen is like the shittiest person in any office job. I'm sorry. If your name is Karen, you work in the office and you're not shitty, I apologize.
Disclaimer. We love all Karens.
All Karens. But
I don't know many.
If you office Karen with the cats and nobody eats your food at potluck, you know there's a problem with you, Karen. If you just randomly hear this,
Karen out there
God damn it,
somewhere.
Karen. If you just randomly hear that,
We hope we help you.
Dude, we call a girl at our job Karen. That ain't her name, but we just like, we just walk because we just say it right there. It's like, God damn it, Karen. She's like, who's Karen? I'm like, you bitch. Shit, it's not my name. You acting like a Karen right now.
Fucking Karen.
Damn it, Karen.
Karen is a title.
And I would
it's
never-
kind of like
yeah.
Felicia or Patricia.
That's exactly right.
State of mind.
Karen,
Yeah.
Karen, stop, Karen. Get rid of the cats,
No more.
okay? She got a cat on her damn
I hate
Pyrex
cats.
dish. Cat hair on
What I
Pyrex
say?
dish.
What I say about somebody who doesn't like Hardball?
Who
The
like
movie
Hardball?
Hardball.
Who? I'm
I don't like you. If you don't like Hardball,
Hey, I'd say one
and
of
you didn't cry when G Baby
friends.
got shot, I don't like you.
Man.
If you can't laugh at
Right.
me, then I can't be funny.
You have cats. Your name's Karen. That's a thing.
And let me tell you, my parents let me watch that when I was 8 years old.
That shit killed you, didn't
I was laying in the bed with them. G Baby got shot.
Man, you want to
Oh my
It
god!
changed
My
you.
mom
Dude,
cried.
right?
My dad cried. here.
Right.
I'm crying. I'm like, my little brother's 6 years old.
Y'all
Crying.
bonded, dude.
Like shedding
Hey,
I didn't even know what a gun was, but G Baby died.
I was a freshman in college when I saw that movie and I was crying. I was like,
He's like-
I was in a dollar theater like, damn, man.
Dollar
Why G
Theater.
Baby got
My
shot?
G Baby, man. Like I was
They
all
used to
hyped about
have
the
dollar
soundtrack and
theaters.
shit.
That was awesome.
Man,
My dad's like,
we got
look-
one in Hoover. We still got one.
My
in
dad's
Hoover.
like, listen, this
it's
movie.
$3 now, but
He's like, this movie's rated R, so please don't repeat the language. But let me tell you, it's a great movie.
It was.
you learn a lot
And
of
next
life
thing, I'm
lessons.
8 years old at the ball field. I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Throw your hands
Love
in
it
the
when you
air.
call me
That
big.
movie introduced a whole generation of Biggie after he was dead.
Right.
Biggie was dead, and they're like, "We love this Big Papa song. Who is this
Right.
guy? Like,
Who
he's
is
dead,
this guy?
He died before you was born. In fact, you probably made to one of his songs.
Probably.
All right, is there anything you want to dive into before we get to the JFK assassination? We're going to
Anything
actually
else
talk about it this
today?
week, ladies and gentlemen. We talked baseball last week and
Talk
sports.
baseball.
We did.
Well,
we did.
you know, the only like really interesting thing that I thought, and we are on, if we're on conspiracies and murder, and you know, this seems like it fit.
Red rum.
So I was reading. There's a podcast out with a group of high school kids out of Tennessee that were just awarded through NPR. They kind of had a high school project, and their podcast kind of actually took off. And it's a story about their town where they actually hung an elephant 103 years ago. So this is one of those where I go, wait.
That had to be a
hold on.
serious rope.
How you catch an elephant?
Well, there's
Number one.
Okay,
How
there's
you
the,
get an elephant?
Why-
there's the first problem.
There's a lot of questions going on here.
Yeah, please,
Exactly.
please.
So wait, but I have questions. It's like,
Now,
hold
I'm
on.
curious, where was this?
One, where's
So
the elephant come from?
here, I'll give you the rundown.
We're in Chelsea. Nothing happened
Well,
in Chelsea.
So basically,
I was trying to figure out where elephants are indigenous in the United States.
Do we even have elephants
Zoo.
in the Birmingham Zoo?
Oh.
this is
We
in
don't.
this was
There's no
in
elephants there.
again 103 years ago. Okay,
That's
this is
even
like
worse.
old story.
All right,
It's like
guys,
wives'
I
tales
gotta
of
hear
small
this.
towns. Okay, but this actually happened.
The gump.
They had a circus come to town.
Oh, shit.
Circus comes to town
Like the Ringling
Okay,
Bros?
there's-
That
an
answers that
elephant.
question.
in the circus, whose name is Mary, who sees a stand of watermelons and says, "I'm gonna go eat them watermelons."
What's elephant?
Because
That's what
she's,
they
you
do.
know, a 2,000-pound elephant, okay, or however much they weigh. How much do elephants weigh?
A lot.
Anyway,
lot.
tons,
Right.
tons of fun.
Good answer.
Okay. So elephant, the trainer that was riding the elephant, who had just become a trainer the day before, was a bellhop at a hotel the day before.
Jesus Christ.
Whacked her in the head.
Hey, you know how to
I know, right?
No,
you know how to
Ocean.
handle an
Ocean.
elephant?
No, but I did sleep in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
You're hired.
And then I started training elephants today. So then he whacked her in the head with this hook thing, and the elephant reaches around, doesn't reach around, okay, with their trunk.
I guess that's a real thing for an
know,
elephant.
This is a very
trainer.
erotic story.
I know, right? You like that? Grabs the trainer,
He's like, I mean,
smashes the trainer into the ground, like murders this
Oh
trainer.
shit! Kills the trainer.
yeah.
Yeah, like stomps his head, like smashes him in the streets, like it's like nothing,
Gosh,
and
just stayed
goes
in his
about
lane.
eating
He
your
was
watermelon.
bellowing. Why was he riding elephant?
He was got a big DQ. He should have stayed in his lane.
So,
Come on, guy. What are you
should
doing?
have stayed in his lane and not eaten watermelon. But so this town decided. I mean, this is like the mindset that blows me away too. 103 years ago, what do? Let's hang the elephant because they
shoot it?
couldn't shoot it. They had no bullets that would go through its skin. They couldn't. They literally made the elephant walk to another town where there was a train.
Oh my god.
Walk the green mile.
Yeah, right.
The elephant walked the green mile. Jesus.
The literal green mile. Like we walked a mile to the next town.
Poor elephant.
That poor elephant was probably dragging across with him.
Traumatic.
Who is he? Jesus
They
Christ, the elephant?
hang.
They call him the fugitive.
How'd they hang it?
Right? He's like,
They
okay.
wrapped chains around it.
I want to see the damn.
neck.
I want to
They
see the
took
tree
a
that they hung it
train
from.
and a crane and literally hung it.
What
It
tree?
fell the
could support
first time,
That's
and
a
as a
big
woman
tree.
described it, it sat
Avatar.
on its ass like a
this? There you go.
jackrabbit.
That's where it
That's
was.
a plantation.
We know
shit.
where it was now.
She's telling a story.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And then they hoisted this thing up again, and the elephant hung in the air, and they literally hung an elephant.
That's terrible.
That's a big.
Now-
Okay, so instead of finding bullets that would find it, they went through all that trouble to go find a way to
No.
hang it.
See, when
no,
we
it's
say
because-
civilization as a whole has gotten dumber, I stand here today to tell you that that's apparently not true. So
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 We're
is this
not
a
hanging
public
elephants
hanging
with
or was
trains.
this private?
it's pay per view.
All the kids come out, watch the hanging, or
Bring the family.
is this like a behind the scenes?
Tell you what.
That's hanging
I
elephant.
want to go to that circus. I
Well,
guess
that's my thing. Well, there's no elephant.
The townspeople.
Right.
We got
So now
tigers
this
jumping through
town has
flaming
been, like,
loops, and we got
haunted. But
elephants
what's
getting
cool
hung.
is that these kids have done this podcast, and they've started really this kind of whole revolution where now they're actually the town supporting, obviously is now supporting different elephant wildlife,
No
state
shit.
So they're
programs.
pro elephant.
They are now.
They're all,
Bama
they're all
fans.
super-
They hung it.
Right?
For real, Dad.
Big Al. Shout out to Big
They
Al.
they're
RTR.
rebranding it to a good use. So I'm like, more power to him. But what a story. Like, so, and it's just kind of that, like, so we say we haven't evolved. I mean, they were hanging elephants in the street 103 years
I'm
ago.
not gonna lie.
from the
I would love to see that movie made. Like somebody
Right.
Tomorrow.
make that movie just for that scene. Like
Martin
I don't care if it's
Scorsese.
all CGI. I just want to see an elephant
Right.
be hung
I've
now, so I
got
can
the
believe
story
it.
on my Facebook page. You can check it out. Like, they should have a picture. Somebody has it. I mean, like, there's a
Oh,
picture
there's
of
a
it. Like,
camera
you can see. I
103
mean,
years
I'm,
ago.
I'm just
Somebody
like,
said,
mind blown.
at some point, somebody said, somebody go back to town and get a shit ton of rope.
Man, they use a chain though. That's a lot of chain.
Right?
Your chain.
Shit.
Well, the first one broke, and then they had to go. And I mean,
And the
Oh my
elephant just
God.
sat still the whole time.
He said,
He's like, yo, all right,
I'm going
cool.
to wait right here while y'all get
I'm
some more
guilty.
chain.
My bad. I'm
apparently,
guilty.
it
I
like,
did it.
took a while.
Like John
So-
Coffey. That's where Stephen King got the idea for the Green Mile. that elephant was John Coffey.
Right?
What?
Big dumb motherfucker just.
Like,
yeah,
here we
boss.
go.
Okay.
Well, here-
Like a drink, but spelled different.
It hurt, boss. It hurt. Oh.
All right, so now we're gonna tackle the JFK
the
assassination.
JFK.
Who is
Or the unassassination, depends on how you look at it.
whose knowledge base is inclined in the JFK assassination?
I mean, I know who did it.
Who
Well,
allegedly did it?
On paper.
Here goes Josh already, allegedly.
I know the Jeopardy.
Well, he
answer to
never-
this
he-
question.
he died.
I know.
He died. He technically never was tried, so
Who would be
allegedly
on the
killed JFK.
So, do you believe that he died at all, Josh?
Huh?
The question
Why'd
is,
you ask that?
Let's
do you
start.
We
believe,
had
like,
this
he died,
conversation?
like, right then, like they say he did, like he was a goner. Because I mean, I've heard
Let-
the whole.
Let me
He didn't
get
even die then. It was a whole fake.
who JFK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
I don't know. We'll get. I want to get everyone's take
I don't know
first.
any of
JFK
y'all's
was
thoughts on
dead.
it.
I want to get. I want to get everyone's takes first. Jose, you just not. You just like it is what it is.
No, I mean, I know that I know Magneto had some shit to do with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? He confessed to that shit in X-Men, bro. A lot of people don't pay attention. Man.
Right, he did try to
These
tell
movies
him.
are facts, man. He said he was trying to say it, but then the same shit happened to Professor X, and there he go. He in the wheelchair now. So I
That's
know-
science,
I
dude.
know.
That's Bill Nye.
No, I
Science.
think that there was definitely another shooter. I feel like there was another shooter. I just don't know
Where, when, or why, or who is
Yeah,
responsible?
Yeah, but I do think there was two people. That
Okay.
was down
Right.
for that.
And so, what's your take, Ashley?
JFK. As far as
Mike.
I know, what happened was what happened. I haven't read much into it.
Okay.
By God, why are you talking like that? I don't know much about it, but I
would
will
like to
say.
know more if there is more to know about it.
No, this man got shot for sure. He got shot for sure. But I mean,
Who do you
There
shoot
was
him?
brains on
anybody
his
could have
wife's
shot
dress.
this man.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I
was
feel like
Lee Harvey Oswald the sole assassin and conspirator?
I mean,
Back in that day and age, it's not too crazy to think that one guy could have done that. They don't have the technology.
That's not the but all the people who don't think it is a conspiracy
Okay,
theory.
look.
let me tell you, at the time, maybe it was cool to go down for that. I don't know. Maybe
Maybe.
this guy was like,
But why
I'm gonna
not
be the
claim
man.
it? He never claimed.
He never claimed it. That's true.
See, I think that's the thing. I think everybody has a take on a theory at some point. But what's really interesting to me about the whole process is that everybody finds that there's something different. Okay, do I believe he was shot and killed? Probably.
There's so many different
But I'm
theories
saying-
that make sense.
Well, no, and again, it's all people look at it. There are people who believe the conspiracy is that there were two shooters, or the conspiracy was that it was done by our government. You know,
the mob, or the Cuban exiles.
Right. Okay. I take the idea that, you know, there's some thought process that says, did he really die? You know,
Yeah.
there's evidence out
That's
there.
why I ask. Yeah.
Well, there's evidence out there that's, you know, a couple things. One, there were supposedly two ambulance or vehicles. Supposedly, one took a part of his
One took the
body,
brain.
and one took a part of his brain. Okay. The interesting part about that story is the hospital where they took both these pieces,
Parkland.
is still to this day that floor is closed off, and supposedly for many years after this happened, the only visitor to that floor was Jackie Onassis. Okay, so there's I believe that there's a lot of different. I think the interesting thing about this theory versus a lot of them is there's probably more unanswered questions about this particular event than any other theory out there.
Why not? Okay, here's with me. There's a bunch of things that, and I'll sprinkle them in throughout. I'm not going to give a bunch on what makes me think there is a conspiracy. One, if there is not a conspiracy, why not release every file? If it's just what you say it is,
He may have smashed
oh
it in
no,
his
but
email.
if it's just what if it's just what they say it is, a lone conspirator, a lone shooter, what will jeopardize national security?
Especially this many years later.
Right? That it has to be a conspiracy. What else would you be hiding if it's only one guy who shot it? Am I right?
If there's nothing to hide, you're gonna.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. If it's a lone,
Eventually, people want to prove you wrong with.
if there's nothing to hide,
Right.
what is? Then that means your investigation must have not have been that thorough because you hell
Right.
an hour within. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An hour within the shot, they already had Lee Harvey Oswald. So why would they have thousands and thousands of documents that would jeopardize national security?
That brings me back to my original point. Mutants.
Oh fuck.
Mutants.
Magneto. I'm telling you.
The blue chick is responsible.
Hey, I'm telling you, Magneto, he was like,
Jennifer Lawrence.
He probably
Right.
sneezed.
Right.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I think what happened was Magneto
Jennifer
was
Lawrence,
still,
we're talking to you, lady.
look, this is
All
here,
you.
here go my conspiracy theory. Magneto was still early in his powers and stuff, and he sneezed when the shot went off, and it
sharded.
and the bullet just kind of it went the wrong way. Yeah,
That's possible.
it was probably aimed for some just random street.
Well, we didn't
You know,
get Allison's theory.
I think that's an explanation that everybody would be happy to.
You know what?
You know what? Fucking it's Magneto.
This sounds
Check that
great.
Yo, Disney
Hey, Allison, what's
We
your
don't know,
theory?
because they
Oh,
have
no,
Hold on, let's
no,
get
no.
Allison's theory.
You know, there's parts of me that think I do not think that he probably initially died right when they think that when they say he did. I don't think it was an instant thing.
Right.
I do think
Why
there's
do you
some-
think that? Because the
I-
fact
I
that
feel
Bobby
like
Kennedy
that,
got
It would
killed?
be a pretty big. It would be a. I could see in a presidential position at that point, if you've got somebody that's like brain dead, life support kind of situation. I mean, how do you handle that?
They're figuring out what to do.
On the other side of the coin, I'm not with the idea that, single shooter. I do believe there's a single shooter, but I don't believe that there is no ties to a lot of
Any of the
connections,
following.
from mafia to, from the organized crime to the fact that, the LBJ all of it. To me, it's just
Or a
you're
combination
missing
of all
of
of
it at that time. There was just too many things that, yes, you're like you just said, why not release it now? Why are we not saying, what is it, if it has no bearing on other things that were obviously monumental historical points that had some huge impact on our country as a whole? why the hell can't you just say, hey, here's what actually happened?
Just
How
say
many
it.
years ago now?
There's a soul
Just say,
suit.
hey.
You see what I'm saying?
Right?
It's not the
Just
fact. Okay,
say-
I get it. Throughout the investigation, you might have picked up some shit, but nothing changed from an hour after the shot.
Right.
They say we got our guy. We think we got our
Right.
guy, Lee Harvey Oswald, lone shooter. Boom. So what else
Done.
could there be?
I mean, the Earth could be flat.
Nothing changed allegedly from what the Warren Commission came up with from what they had an hour after the shot.
So, Josh, other than what we know,
Yeah.
what are you giving out? What do you think happened?
Yeah. No one asked me what I thought.
And
That's
now,
why I'm here, Josh. I want to know what you're thinking. I'm here for you, buddy.
All right. Let's see. I read a bunch of the documents, about 1,500 of them, not all of them.
first of all, understand this before he starts explaining this. Okay, the Earth's flat, and we did not go to the moon.
I don't think the Earth is flat,
The Earth is flat.
I'm not a
You can
flat
walk to
earther.
the edge and
Flat
you will fall
earthers.
off.
and I don't know if
Keep
we
going.
went to the moon or not. All right. I'll
Well,
give you that.
There is what moon?
Yeah. Okay.
I
The
feel
moon's
like
made of
that's a
cheese and it's
possibility
hollow.
that didn't happen
Cheese.
too. I
That's
don't
All
know.
right.
It's been eaten.
Here's what I don't know technically what happened, but I can tell you what I think is sketchy.
Right.
One, there's evidence, not by evidence, it's a fact, that the CIA and the mob were working together at one point in Cuba.
Right.
When they, in Operation Northwoods,
Yep.
when they were making the plans, or it could have been Mongoose, I can't remember which one. When they were making the plans to assassinate Fidel Castro, they were going to make the mob be the fall guys so they don't get in trouble for it.
Right.
In turn, they could have the casinos. That was their turn. That's when they go. And we all know that JFK double-crossed the mob because his dad was a bootlegger. JFK's dads were bootleggers. So he got the mob, said, hey, vote for me. I got your back. He said, okay. They got him, and they literally swayed the vote so much so that was the closest election in U.S. history. All right? He won the election. Well, then he immediately dubbed Bobby Kennedy as the DA, which his purpose was, I'm going to cut out organized crime. And that was his one thing, and just started pissing him off. What's the New Orleans crime boss? What's his name?
In New Orleans?
Yeah,
New Orleans?
that guy. He literally kidnapped.
Giuliani?
No, I forgot
Giuliani.
his name. We'll know his name in a second. He literally kidnaps him, low key, drops him off in the middle of nowhere, thinking to die. That motherfucker finds a way out and comes back, and his main thing is, I'm going to kill Kennedy. He made a quote saying, if you want to keep the tail from hitting your wagon, you don't cut off the tail, you cut off the head.
Right.
Which is JFK. They even days or weeks prior in Chicago, they busted a coup to assassinate JFK, and he even said, "I'll get his ass in Dallas." All this is fact. Everything I just said is fact.
Mhm.
And then he gets assassinated in Dallas. Jack Ruby, the Warren Commission low played his mob ties. Jack Ruby. He was a legitimate. He ran bookie. He was a bookie for the
Right.
damn dude in Chicago, and then he moved down to New Orleans and worked with the New Orleans dude. Got his thing at the fucking strip club.
So who do you ultimately think is at the top of it?
It's fucking. It's LBJ, CIA, and the mob, all in
You think
one.
all three of them in cahoots. at one
All
time?
of them in their cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
So you think
I agree with that.
So you think that's going on today?
Yeah.
I mean, the
For
same
sure.
basic thing.
Well, look, you saw Operation Mockingbird in action. Operation Mockingbird is when they infiltrated all of the
Carlos
media.
Marcello, was that it?
Marcelo, that's his name. My
Marcelo,
dad
yeah.
built his roof back in the day.
Uh-oh.
I hope he did a good job.
Nice.
I think he was dead or something.
I hope he did a really good job.
No, but
Yeah, he died. Yeah, he's out.
I'd be nervous.
no,
He was like 83 mob. He was like 83 years old mob boss style. Like,
well, LBJ was facing 3 separate manslaughter charges, and he pardoned himself when he became president. He's a real piece of shit. He was this. You learn in the recent JFK file dump. He was in the KKK before he became a politician.
mhm.
He was a real pile of shit. Real pile of shit.
He could be anybody he wanted to because they didn't have internet back then.
Yeah, basically. You also found out that's when you were in a marriage. You could be like, "Hey, honey, I'm going out for some cigarettes," and move 4 miles down and start a whole nother life.
and never be
And then they go
found.
eat dinner
You
with
got
them.
like a whole new family 4 miles down the road.
Yeah. No, but it's crazy what the
Crazy,
like.
it's crazy.
It's just insane that They just, and then the people that call other people loony bins for being conspiracy loons to think it's anything other than that. Like with the
But
moon landing
why
and
do you
that.
think it's so
Like
important
even
that
you,
all this is hidden
even
yet?
Chris,
Like if you were to think,
even
like,
me.
what is it? Exactly, though. I think that's more the
Right.
issue now. I think most people can agree that there's some issue details, but it's like, why hide this stuff now?
like just like the moon landing, which is arguably the greatest feat of mankind. This is probably one of the greatest, or not greatest, but biggest things in U.S. history. Why do they both have in like? Just I don't even know. Like in what am I trying to say? When you don't do your job right,
You get fired.
ineptitude. What am I trying
You're
to say?
inept at
Inept.
your
Okay,
job.
you're ineptitude.
Sure.
Okay, right.
You just don't do it like you're supposed to.
Yeah, just that everything goes great until these two things.
And it's no different. And you and I have had this conversation before. The shooting in Vegas. Okay, the amount of technology that had to literally be sitting in that
It
casino,
has to be the most surveilled place on this planet.
right? Okay, and they can't come up with one picture of the dude
Yeah, they show.
Like, are you sure?
with the modern technology that we have now.
Man, ain't no but a thing.
So,
But I can
so-
get caught picking my nose on camera at the Walmart, like, easy.
So it's crazy to me, though, if you think about it, that even with the technology that we do have now, okay, why can we not go back and find and get real DNA evidence and stuff like what we do now?
What are you talking about? The
Well,
JFK?
Sure.
One thing that bothers me is how
If
many
you find
times
his
in
brain,
war?
then there's a whole lot of
How many times in war
DNA
you'd be like, oh well, a guy got shot and all of a sudden the bullet just fell out?
Right?
What the bullet? You know what I'm talking about? The magic
Yeah,
bullet that
yes.
just popped up next to
Yes.
the gurney.
It's that magnetic bullet. Just
As
sucks
it goes
it.
up.
That comes through the
Magneto.
window.
Telling y'all,
Magneto,
man.
it's gotta be
I
Magneto.
watched my shows. Telling y'all, man, Stan Lee was like a genius, and he was privy to a lot of information. I mean, think about
He worked
this,
with the
like,
government.
I mean, like
Right?
he created the Black Panther like years before the Black Panther Party was
even a thing.
A thing.
That's
you know?
true.
So I'm just saying, Captain America.
And he created
Oh,
Robin.
time.
You know what I'm
Robin
saying?
before Robin was a
first gay
thing.
superhero.
Right?
Robin was
Before
the very
being-
first gay superhero.
Before being Robin.
he was gay
the
in the
thing.
70s on the TV show, and people didn't even know it.
So y'all weren't into this. What is y'all's favorite conspiracy?
Dick Grayson. No, that's not my
That's
conspiracy.
not-
That's
he's
just
like, that's
Robin's
not-
You
thing.
two. What's your favorite conspiracy?
My favorite conspiracy?
I love hearing people talk about the 9/11. 9/11.
9/11 ball deep, dude. That's a good
That's
one.
a good one, too.
It's just funny to hear like everyone's
Jet
opinion.
fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
You know my.
Yeah, but it can't weaken the structural
It can.
integrity. I give them the benefit of the doubt on that one.
no.
It doesn't matter.
That's fucking around.
Or like the people who talk about the Sandy
What is
Hook.
your? Are you clowning right now? You clowning on 9/11, man?
It didn't happen.
Because it didn't work on me, bitch. I gave you the benefit of the doubt on that. All I gotta do is prove
Stretch 'em out.
one thing.
Are there questions around 9/11? Yes. Do I believe that it was an inside job? No.
Yeah. All I'm saying, you know what it takes to be a conspiracy? One thing that happened
It's questionable.
knowingly that they
That's
didn't tell us.
questionable.
Correct. That is
Yeah.
correct.
Jet
That's a
I
conspiracy.
think that's the thing. I think a lot of it's intentional. The theories and the conspiracies are intentional, and I think they'll like hold out that one specific piece
Yeah,
of
just
information.
to tease us.
that-
The dick teases.
Look,
It's
here's
the
the
media.
problem. If we
the
all,
media's tease. I mean, it's just normal stuff, right?
yeah. So
It's what they like to do. They like grease it up.
I still don't have my voice all the way back.
yeah,
Tell you should enjoy it. But
yeah.
no,
Right now,
Yeah.
Coming back.
bring them back.
So 9/11. What do you think, Carrie?
The 9/11.
I mean, I think it happened, man.
No shit, it happened.
fucking happened.
I remember. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
Where does hole come from?
I remember I'm in my elementary school classroom.
It's not like
just
the moon
chilling.
landing, dude. It
Oh,
definitely
God, I
happened.
feel so old.
Actually, there is a conspiracy that the planes were
There's
holograms.
conspiracy
yeah. There actually is. If you read up enough, there
I
actually
saw
are some.
that.
Have you
shit
been to Ground Zero?
live.
It's a real thing.
I saw that shit.
No, I get it.
For real
I
there.
get it.
I remember being in my classroom and my teacher was freaking out. We watched the TV. The whole thing was the whole night.
You had a traumatic childhood.
You know?
Hillary did it.
OJ
was
said,
Hillary.
hey, I know.
OJ's glove.
It was that
My
trauma.
my favorite conspiracy theory is the Tupac.
Oh, and Biggie.
I was gonna say,
Tupac is not
and
dead.
Biggie.
Yeah,
What?
Tupac is not dead. I still
Apparently, he's not a sunset.
I still
So
don't think that
you saw
dead.
blankets. It's showing his face more.
Blanket.
I see him at Coachella
Blanket
a few years
Jackson?
ago.
Yeah,
Blanket Jackson the third. What?
Right.
who names their kid blanket?
Michael
Right.
Jackson does. I mean, come on. Now.
Who
It's
names
Michael
their
Jackson.
kid North or South?
If he named him anything normal, we would be like, what? The
Okay,
fuck?
time out. I
That's true.
got a question.
You
I
can't
got
be
a
normal
question.
from that.
It's not. Hold on. I think instead of people jumping out of buildings, people were getting push. Man, is that a theory? People were getting pushed
Oh, that's
out
an
of buildings.
that's interesting. Okay, to make it seem more realistic.
Remind me, I'm not. Remind
They
me
were
to talk about
shoving
Michael
the
Jackson.
dudes
so I don't get
out. It's
sidetracked.
like Death Race 2000 on you
Japan
played in
had
a
nothing
burning
to do with
building.
it. They don't have kamikaze people up there pushing people out of windows.
Kamikaze.
That's right. He
That's-
said
hey,
kamikaze.
That's-
I heard that shit too. I'm like,
No,
what?
that's-
Well, it's the same thing.
that's
You hire
British.
The
somebody to-
country's bitch in here is from fucking London or wherever the hell he's from.
Kamikaze.
Kamikaze, that's
England,
British.
England,
Yeah,
wherever
like
the hell
a
you're
camel
from.
toe, but like
You
a
don't have
camel
people
toe.
hired to go climb the fucking
Tower.
Kamikazes, by God.
towers and say your sole purpose in this life is to push people out of a window.
Yeah,
You
do.
say that,
What
but-
you do, because what you do is you don't tell them the full extent of the plan.
Like, hey, dude, we're going over here.
You can say, because that way they can't tell them.
We're paying you millions of dollars if you
they're
don't die.
paying them, and they just get their money right back once they die, or that money's going to their families and shit.
Yeah.
Or they get Jack Ruby.
But yeah,
and
I mean,
shoot 'em.
you watch
Or
movies
they
all the
get
time,
jacked.
man. That shit happens in movies all the time. You got to know they get that shit from somewhere.
Well,
See,
all the
the
stuff in the
movies,
movies
they
is
should
it's
learn.
real.
Thank
It's
you.
real, yeah.
They're-
It's real.
I think
That's
it's
science,
It's
dude.
not up.
To a point. That's why the movie industry has been so prominent over the years.
Don't
because
you
it's
find
an
it weird,
expression
though?
Of secrets.
Well, don't you find it weird when you watch that movie and you go, "Gosh, that's," and then like 2 years down the road, something similar actually happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were actually preparing us for this.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
know, but then they come
So
out and
if
say,
you don't think that the
"Oh,
aliens
we-
are coming,
no, but they said this.
oh no, they're on the way.
look at the Simpsons. Look at the Simpsons. All the
yeah.
like real shit.
There's a great
Simpsons,
example.
Freaking 2012. I think the 2012 had a whole like part of the atmosphere just freezes
Yeah.
and stuff. I think that could legitimately happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Pole shifts and shit.
yeah,
Day after
you know what I'm
tomorrow.
saying? Yeah, it's,
That's
so
gonna
it's
be bad.
definitely-
great movie.
you know,
I'm
it's
not ready
definitely
for
some
that.
shit.
Great move.
Good movie.
No, but what I
It's better than
don't remember what I was gonna say, but
Jake Gyllenhaal was
They are
awesome.
tomorrow.
Yes,
We
you're
were
right.
we were talking
I love that.
conspiracies.
I love that
you know.
guy.
Favorite
Jake's pretty good.
conspiracy.
oh,
The 9/11
shit. What was I
did
gonna
happen.
say?
We talking about Michael Jackson in Blanket?
We got
Blanket.
that one.
Oh,
Okay,
North
fine. I'll
Poles
just
and
go there. I'll go with that. Okay, with all this coming out, like it's like confirmed, like he fucked kids.
Is it
Oh, wow.
confirmed or is it still just somebody?
No, it's confirmed.
no, I
Like,
mean, it's this is
How-
what it
how
is.
is this
This is
confirmed?
this is what
How?
it is. It's some
his
kids that
nanny
are-
came out and said release tapes.
But I mean, she said
They
shit back
found
in the day, too.
panties and
Well, that's
stuff.
what I'm saying. There's
Like,
nothing
at the end of
new.
the day, this is my.
But
theory
no,
on
I'm trying to
Michael
say
Jackson.
is like
he got acquitted
That's where it came
twice. He
from.
went to court
God
twice
bless him.
and got acquitted in a court of law. Therefore,
He
was
should be
not
left
guilty.
alone.
So
He-
just leave
no,
him
no.
alone.
Right,
Just-
right.
Let
He's
him,
rich.
let him
See,
be
that-
in that house by
hold on,
himself.
time out. That's where I'm kind of going with it. Like it's
Money
kind of
talks. Money
shut the
talks.
fuck up.
Hey, that's why they call it
Listen,
Neverland.
no, stop. Listen.
Neverland.
All of it came out, and it's like a fact now, but no one's really talking about his legacy. They're just like, oh yeah, we all knew that.
You know
Kind
they
of.
pulled the documentary off HBO already.
Did they?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
Oprah's
That's
already
cool.
like being
But
shamed for
that's
it.
how powerful he is.
That's because those kids were just lying and going back on shit that they had already said they didn't say. And
Right,
like,
but
so it
I'm
was like-
saying-
it was pretty much like thrown together. Like we're trying to make money because
They had
R.
already
Kelly was
gotten paid for having
exposed.
sex with him. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
yeah. I mean, real shit. The little boy said, "I got a ring."
Do you
that
not
Michael Jackson
think he-
gave me? Yes, he
That
gave
was
you a
like
ring. You
insensitive
belong to him.
childhood.
It's
So you
cool.
saying he didn't have sex with children?
I man, look, he touched
There's
the
no-
kids. He
there's
just never
nothing
touched me. So
Right,
it's all
right.
good.
But you know what I'm saying?
Touch my
That's the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm
Just
trying
touched my soul, never my butthole.
Right?
the point I'm trying to make
Right.
is not once has his legacy been tarnished.
Well, I mean, like
Even with it all coming out, it's
well,
weird.
actually, it has because they've taken him off of like
The radios and stuff, yeah.
Taking him off.
But no
Have
one
they
really
really?
talks about him as the GOAT. Yeah, like it's legit.
Like international.
So I got all right. So the
international-wise.
question is out there then. Okay, with all the different age range of people, is Michael Jackson on your playlist?
Yeah,
yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Man, let me tell you. Let me tell you. When I get in the shower at
That's the
7
point I'm
a.m.
trying to make. That motherfucker's
Yeah.
still
I'm
going.
jamming,
Man in the
bro.
mirror, dude.
Hey,
Right?
Madonna.
Hey, Dad,
still
I listen to
there,
Man in the Mirror
you know,
going
she
to
did
church.
Dogs. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Man in the Mirror is like the closest gospel song that
Right.
Michael Jackson could have ever done, bro.
Right.
They be shouting in that shit. They be dying.
But I mean, that's true though. If you think about it, though, it's, everybody says it's all tarnished and he's going away. But look, we sit here and all of us sit here and say, "Well, he's on my playlist."
Look, man, if R. Kelly could be on people's playlists,
Right.
R. Kelly
Right.
only. R. Kelly's like
Gonna get
still
some
trying to do shit. Like he got
PT.
people
Yeah.
held hostage with his shit and
you see
hits.
This man has a song called PYT, Pretty Young Thing.
Yes, hey, she's very.
And that song's a vibe, but like you look at his history and you're like, maybe I should not listen to
Probably a
that.
bad choice.
But you still dance around to it. You're like,
Yeah, it makes my junk wiggle a little bit.
Chappelle did it best. I mean, I love his remake.
See,
and we're all
he,
bobbing.
look, see, that's how he touched my soul.
He touched more than
I
that.
was gonna say apparently he
No,
touched
I
the
never got
line.
invited to the Neverland Ranch.
Anybody
He
do?
overlooked my application, motherfucker.
Right?
You be
Dirty
rich right now.
bastard.
Michael
Like the
Jackson's
kids.
a bitch.
Hey, if he would touch me, I wouldn't say his shit.
You're
I'd
too
be like, yo,
old,
how much-
man.
How
And
much a
Jose
month?
would be Jose would be like, I was 8 years old.
I was 8 years old. Then all of a sudden,
Suck Michael's dick, bro.
Yeah, money run out. I'm like, yo, he calls me, start looking like Forrest Whitaker and everything. Like, I don't know how. I don't know how. But he did it.
But he did.
YouTube me up there. I'll shoot a video and went, man, this is how Michael Jackson, man. He told me to go in the room and he closed the door and I just went blank. So you remember? I don't remember, but I was hurt when I woke up.
I walk with a limp. He have a lazy eye.
He's doing
3 whole days.
It's Forrest Whitaker.
Got the Forrest Whitaker on.
You don't even know, man. You don't even know. You don't know. You don't know me. You don't know, man, dog.
You don't know me.
You
Yeah.
don't know me.
Old
Hey, you don't know
hashtag.
me. Oh, but you do know me.
Oh, but you know.
I had an abortion. No, I was playing this.
You know me.
Crossing the line.
Oh, but you
So,
know.
Allison,
Yes.
fill us in. What else we got? What else we got?
What else we got? I don't know. I mean, so yeah. Here's another conspiracy I like. I like the unexplained deaths. I mean, like Marilyn Monroe. She was another one that was like tied to JFK. That
Yeah.
to me is like the whole. Like, why is this still an obsession of? I mean, did she just overdose herself, or why is this
fucked
just
him,
such a
that's why.
mystery?
She was
fucked him. They were pillow
apparently
talking.
she was the first MK Ultra clone.
Right.
Right.
That's why they say modern day MK Ultra victims, they dress them up as Marilyn Monroe. That's why you see when you see
That's what that is.
yeah,
Okay.
MK.
that's when you see them.
What is MK Ultra?
MK Ultra is a CIA operation when they were trying mind control.
Get with it, Carrie. Come on.
They were dealing out a lot of
first time.
doses.
So
That's
pretty much,
where
so
that's
pretty
where
much she.
LSD came from.
Right.
So pretty much she was
Oh, that
He was
infiltrating
super high.
the presidency
Yeah.
by
They
sleeping
would
with him.
they would have
pillow
CIA
Okay.
backed scientists who would conduct sleep studies and invite people in, and they would unknowingly give them like 12 hits of acid.
Pillow talk, yo.
How do you sign up for that?
Yo.
I know.
It's like,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like-
So,
I have told
so
How
is
is
there a
that?
website?
Can we get in on that?
Is there a
What do we have to
website
do?
where we can sign up?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
And that must have been that like pure shit too.
Right?
Like imagine that.
I
That,
have confessed.
Jim
that
Morris.
would make you retarded.
Like
Right.
government made, like this is like
You've done acid.
Jim Morrison kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
like
that Grateful
research
Dead
worthy
shit.
studies.
This is like Woodstock acid.
Yes.
Or
Right.
Vietnam
Don't
acid.
take the brown stuff.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's rap.
But how do they mix it up? They do like you get this type of acid, you get this
Nah,
type.
don't
or-
mention
I don't know.
That's
I don't
I
think they
wasn't there.
told you that.
You talk
here,
to the
take
president,
these.
girl. We
Are you
got
the
they-
placebo or the control?
They
Who
didn't even
knows?
tell you. They just fucking did it, man.
Here's your Flintstone vitamins for the day.
That was
Take
a
12.
release. Dude, another thing I
was
didn't
a polio.
realize.
Do you feel happy or do you feel depressed?
The
more you take, the better
you'll
Right.
Those polio shots. That's what it was.
Right.
Giving them
It's
polio
the
shots.
weasel shot. Take it.
So speaking of that kind of stuff, okay. So how do y'all feel about our country falling apart because people don't want to vaccinate their kids?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, what do you think about this conspiracy? People fighting back on it because they think the government's doing it for like other reasons.
See, I've always
Do you
said,
think the government's coming out and throwing measles out
No, I
just
think
to make
I think
people
we-
vaccinate?
Well, like I said,
No, I
airborne,
think they're
like-
mad because we're not vaccinating our kids anymore because I believe we were all chipped.
That's what I'm trying to
you,
say.
When you went into that line in school, remember they used to do it at school. I don't know about
You used to
y'all.
have to do
Scoliosis
fluoride.
checks?
Like we used to have to like.
No, but they give
squish
you your
stuff in our
vaccination
mouth
at
and
school.
stuff.
That's when
It
they
was
put that
terrible.
little rice in, that little piece of rice with that little teeny tiny number on it in. You,
That's what I'm trying
and
to
they've
say,
been
dude.
tracking us since the
I
early
passed mine.
50s.
I passed
Never got
mine
that.
last week. actually.
right? Hell, I thought it was a kidney
I was like,
stone.
oh my
What are we, the
gosh.
chosen generation? We just have
Right?
a chip
Oh,
in us.
we
We have
no,
something
no,
to-
we're the chosen. Y'all ain't.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Y'all didn't have
Right?
Y'all are,
Hold
y'all
on.
are millennials. They be like, man, fuck 'em. We don't even want to know what they doing right now. They eating Tide Pods. Fuck no.
Right.
I have
Don't
never,
track this shit. Let's just.
I have never once in my life tasted a Tide Pod.
No, hold on.
Low I will.
He's like,
I have not.
Are you
At
94?
this point.
he's like, he ain't been off of one
When
year.
you born?
basically.
yeah.
93.
You're good. They
got
redid
off the
it.
Tide Pods in
So
90s.
Millennials cuts off at 94.
And
So
this
I'm
is,
not a
No, it does
no,
not.
no, let me tell
I
you what
hate
this
millennials. I appreciate that.
No, Jose,
Yeah, so
let
you're
me tell
ill.
you,
You're ill in
Hate
there.
our
That's worse.
kind.
Or
this is Josh's conspiracy that he's worked up.
What is?
This is Josh's newest conspiracy theory.
What is?
That somewhere he has in writing that he's not a millennial.
I'm not.
Yeah, right.
all kinds of inedible shit.
Hey, you speak it. It's a thing.
Is that what it
It's
is?
in the ether, right?
See, that's a. I still say that this is his
I'm going to
newest.
be a millionaire tomorrow still with my vitamin B12 deficiency and all.
Oh, you had vitamin D deficiency.
Allison, you ain't
Here's
not.
the
You
vitamin
ain't
D,
not
too.
deficient. You ain't not deficient. I'm telling you that.
I am
As
ain't
a
not,
doctor,
none
you ain't
never
not.
said yes.
You ain't not B12
Said
deficient.
ya.
Shit.
Nope, none yet. Don't know what you're talking about.
So did you go to the beach? When did you go to the beach, Allison?
I did go to the beach. I decided
On your deathbed?
I did. I was not on my deathbed then. I was like on a recoup, and then I was like, I only live like 2 hours from the beach, so.
It's funny
I
how the
did.
beach will fix things, though.
It does, man.
So I was
Seriously.
like,
Fix my AIDS.
I threw my not sister in the car, and we just said,
Wait,
out.
your sister?
No, her not sister is
Yeah,
what
my
she
not
just
sister.
said. Her not sister.
She's like my sister.
I
but
told
she's
you
not
she wasn't her
sister.
sister.
we had this conversation earlier today about your
It's a
not
huge
sister.
conspiracy in my town.
I was like, dude, she's
I'm
not.
sure it is.
Whether we're related or not.
Y'all look
There are pictures
alike.
of them- there are pictures of them
confusing.
at
It's like
Publix
my
and shit,
twin,
like,
but we're like 8 years apart.
8
really
years.
confusing.
She's 8 years
Yeah.
older than you?
No, younger.
And she's like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like
8
7 years.
years
I don't know. She's like
younger.
7 years younger than me. Yeah.
So it's like a big
She's
sister.
younger than
so it's
me.
like a big sister program, kind of sort of.
It is like a big sister program, but it's like
y'all are
creepy
equal.
because people think that we're twins. But then I grew up here, and she grew up in Virginia,
Huh.
and everybody knows that my mom's like the town attorney. It's like one of those weird moments where you realize there's really no way possible that could have happened,
It could have happened.
Oh, it's
I
possible.
can tell you how it could happen.
except for.
Well, we know what causes
Oh
it
no, we
now.
believe it's possible.
Government
but,
conspiracy
you know.
theories and body snatching and shit.
Right?
Yeah.
It can definitely happen.
I think there was some weird, like, afterlife soul. I mean, it's just this. I mean, it's like my mom suddenly had 2 daughters and nobody knew where she came from. She's
So
an
do you
alien.
feel like you accidentally ran into your own doppelganger?
Pretty much. And then I was like, hey, you should come be my mom's paralegal. And you should our kids can walk to and from school, and it'll really confuse our entire small town.
Nice. Nice.
Sounds fun.
It's actually pretty great. It's like Parent
I
Trap.
wish we had a side by side to pop up, but we don't. So
Yeah, it's good.
But
We
More
don't.
More
I'll get her over one day. She's kind of like, my secret in hiding. It's like you only pull her out when you really want to creep people out. I really love when we go places and there's drunk people and they're
That's
like,
been said before.
there's 2 of you.
You only pull it out when you want to creep people out.
I do it every once in a while.
Right? That's
Has that been said
before.
to you before, Chris?
It's been said a lot of
I'm
times.
sorry, sweetie.
Sorry.
No, but hey, I think that's gonna do it for this episode here. On the last episode on this in the studio, more than likely. Okay, ladies and
Unless
gentlemen.
it's next week.
Unless it's next week. I have a hunch that this is going to be the last episode.
Yeah.
Jose, being it for what you are, what you got to plug here?
Hey yo, I'm gonna be in Huntsville on June 21st at the Interspace Brewery, doing a show.
It's out of this world.
I'll be in Chattanooga next Wednesday at the Comedy Catch at 7:30 and JJ Bohemians at 8:30. So if y'all are in the area, come through and holler at me. Let me know y'all know me from here. I'm also taking my big road trip
Gang,
this
gang.
summer. That's gonna be fully documented. I'm gonna work on a lot of stuff while being on the road, but I'm traveling to California on the road, making some stops in
Cali,
Houston, OKC, Denver,
Shit,
Vegas, and San Diego. And then I'll stop in LA and start doing my processing stuff. So I'll be gone for like a month, maybe a month and a half.
Be
from the
careful out
South.
there.
But I will. I
Safe
got
travels.
family and friends.
I say,
that I'm
be
going to
careful
see
out there. You know, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I already know, man. And like I said, it's gonna be documented. So
No
y'all
blood
gonna see it.
transfusion.
Ain't
Y'all
nobody
gonna
get-
see it. I'm gonna be in the butthole of
I was
America.
gonna say,
guys.
Say protect your butthole.
He's got to say he's got it all on
Oh,
film.
I got my steel draws all set. Steel draws,
Locked
kryptonite
and
draws.
ready.
Have you been
even
there before?
Superman. Oh, I used to live there. I go there like every few months to do shows out there and stuff.
Where?
What's it like? In the
It's-
butthole of America.
Man, it stink. But they don't stink like it's not the butthole of America. New Orleans is the butthole of America.
Shit, yeah. it is.
Technically. Josh is like,
LA is like the armpit. It's like a
And Cleveland's pretty bad too. If you've never visited Cleveland.
any place that LeBron goes and just hangs out is bad. 'Cause
Probably a bad idea.
I saw LeBron James in New Orleans, so I just know he hangs out there. And it was stank as fuck. When
Did you talk to him?
Man, look, we tried.
You
to talk
touch him
to
where he pees?
We tried to take a picture with him, and then he
That's
tried
the
to
best
hide
place
behind
to be
the security.
touched.
And
You
the
know, it's a
security's
funny-
like down to his waist. I'm like, bro, you can't even hide, you motherfucker.
and
Like,
funny
you're taller
story.
than everybody in your security.
That's
so
when you
we'll
tell him
see.
you're famous, bro.
Like, oh, bastard. Fuck LeBron James.
Well, you know,
I'm sorry.
and that just goes to show you how different it is. Carrie was hanging out. I think it was a black market here.
Yeah, with Charles Barkley.
And Charles Barkley's just
Well,
hanging
Charles
out.
Barkley's different, man. Charles Barkley's from the area and shit.
I know.
Charles
I mean, he is
Barkley's
local.
like-
He's
That's
super cool
terrible.
dude. Like, he's a super cool dude. He's uncle
He
to
is
one of
cool.
my friends. Like, I know him. He's a super cool
He's
dude.
super laid back.
But fuck
though.
LeBron James. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
man.
about that goat.
LeBron, old
He
bullshit.
ain't no goat.
Ain't no
Nope,
goat. He just
nope.
looked like a goat, a Billy goat. Yeah. Ha. But yeah, so that's all. Them all the shows I
So
got.
LeBron, don't hold back. If you want some of his shit, call him.
Yeah, come on, call
He's
me,
ready for you.
LeBron. Talk to me, motherfucker. I'll be in LA. Talk to me, bro. We can have a sit down. In fact, if you give me tickets to the damn Lil Wayne Blink 182 concert out at the Staples Center, I would greatly
What a weird
appreciate
mixture.
it. What?
Speaking of Blink 182, the
I'll
lead
have it
singer is a UFO hunter.
That is an amazing combination.
It really is.
Yes. I am going to that concert.
That's a crazy good
I'm going
show.
to that concert, and I'm going to the Nas and Mary J. Blige concert in Tuscaloosa this summer.
Another good
That'd be
concert.
good.
Yes,
That'd be
yes.
really
I'm
good.
bucket list.
Allison, anything
Mary
you want to
J.
add?
like would be worth everything.
Yes. Nas. bro.
Allison, anything you want to add?
Yes.
Allison?
Do I want to add stuff?
To close
y'all
off?
added enough.
Nothing you want to
I'm
talk
just-
about?
I'm gonna stay alive, and I'm not. I'm gonna do my number one rule: don't die.
That's right. Be deficient.
Hey, that's always a good plan.
You only die
That's
once.
a really good rule, Allison.
You know what they
That
say?
is my rule for everything. It's
Every
like,
day
Very
above
good
dirt.
rule. I think I'll carry that with me for the rest of my life.
Very
I enjoy
much
that.
so.
Probably good,
I
good
tell my
idea.
kids,
But as for me,
Just don't
we will be looking for a new place to shoot this podcast from. It should be fun. It should be wild. But if you like what you heard, please go rate and subscribe on iTunes. Give us a nice 5-star review. You can also subscribe on YouTube or follow us on social media. That way you can interact with us. Give us good show ideas. If you want to request content for the show or you want to be on the show, just email me at almostlegalpodcast@gmail.com or at any of the social media sites. Carrie, Ashley, thanks for being on the show, my guy.
It's been more than a pleasure. We'll see you guys at Black Market tonight if you want to
Yeah,
sign.
YOLO. Jose, it's always a pleasure, my guy.
Hey, guys. Hey, appreciate it.
And remember, Magneto killed fucking JFK.
Show the fuck
Never
did.
forget.
Show the fuck. did.
And until next week, I'll see you.
We're out.
Deuces.